Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank you for granting this urgent question today. With less than 3 months until we reach the Article 50 deadline, there can be no more hiding and no more running away. This issue will define Britain's future and should not be decided by the internal machinations of the Conservative Party. This House and this country deserve much better. A month ago, the Prime Minister shamefully pulled the meaningful vote, promising to do everything possible to secure assurances from the EU on the temporary nature of the backstop. Now the time has come for the Prime Minister to tell the House exactly what legal assurances have been given by EU leaders. There seems to be confusion over exactly what the Prime Minister is demanding from the EU. The Leader of the House promised legal reassurances. Yesterday, the Prime Minister told the BBC we're not asking for anything new. So can the Secretary of State clear this up and tell the House exactly what is being requested? What guarantees do we have from the Secretary of State that, faced with yet another humiliating defeat, the Prime Minister won't just run away? Can the Secretary of State do what the Prime Minister should be doing today and confirm the timetable for the vote, the meaningful vote, and provide what we've not received before, a cast-iron promise this will not be reneged on yet again? The government is trying to run down the clock in an attempt to blackmail this House and the country into supporting a botched deal. She's refused to work with the majority in the last few months in a desperate attempt to spark life into what is actually a Frankenstein monster of a deal. We're now told if we don't support it, the government is prepared to push our whole economy off a cliff edge. And to prove this, no-deal preparations are underway. The Transport Secretary, who has, a PhD in incompetency in running ministries, has awarded a shipping contract to a company that doesn't have any ships. And even today, we see the farce of lorries being lined up to stage a fake traffic jam in Kent to pretend to the EU that the government is ready for a no deal. The reality is, Mr. Speaker, there is no majority in this House to support no deal. Why won't the government face up to this truth and stop wasting our time and our money?
Well, Mr. Speaker, based on the lack of consent in that, it's good to know the Leader of the Opposition had a good break over Christmas. He said about colleagues not knowing. What they don't know is what Labour's plan is. But what they do know, it is one riddled with contradiction. They had a manifesto that said on page 24 that they were going to respect the referendum result. Now they seem to have a policy which is to go back on it. So the confusion that we have is as to what the Honourable Gentleman, actually believes, which is why he started by saying that we couldn't stop Brexit. In past interviews he says we couldn't stop it, and yet his Shadow Secretary says that they can. The reality, Mr. Speaker, is that he opposes the preparation for no deal, which any responsible government needs to make, whilst at the same time saying that he will vote against the deal.